Let's talk about kindness today. There's a marvelous, wonderful story in 2 Samuel chapter 9. It's about King David, who was the second king of the nation of Israel. In it, he has settled into his kingdom, and things are pretty quiet at that time, so he decided to fulfill some promises. So he asked about the family of Saul. Now, Saul was the first king of Israel. He didn't care much for David, but he had a son named Jonathan, and he and David loved one another like brothers. So he said, "Is there someone left in the family of Saul that I can show the kindness of God to?" And someone said, "Yes, there's Jonathan's son. His name is Mephibosheth, and he's lame in his feet, and so he's being taken care of," he said, "by a former servant of King Saul." So David sent for the young man and had him brought to see him. Well, you can imagine how frightened the young man was, because the kings in those days were really absolute monarchs. But King David said, "You know, I made a covenant with your father Jonathan, and promised that I would show kindness to his family." And in those days, that kind of a promise was a covenant. It was a very important thing, and they kept that promise right down through an entire generation of family. So he said to the young man, "I want you to eat at my table. I want you to be regular at my table." In fact, they moved him to Jerusalem so that he could be there to eat at the king's table all the time. In the meantime, King David told the servant, he said, "I'm giving all of the land back that belonged to Saul and to his son Jonathan, and I want Mephibosheth to have this land back, and I want him to enjoy everything that is produced by the land. So I want you to be sure that he gets all of the care that he needs." So a beautiful story is told there of how King David showed the kindness of God to the son of his former friend. Now, kindness is a trait, it's a character trait, and it can be developed, it can be grown. And the way it's grown is by doing it. You see, Glenn Campbell sang a song some years back. Let me read you some of the lyrics to that song. It's entitled "Try a Little Kindness." It says, "If you see your brother standing by the road with a heavy load from the seeds that he sowed, and if you see your sister falling by the way, just stop and say you're going the wrong way. You've got to try a little kindness. Yes, show a little kindness, and shine your light for everyone to see." Now, you may not be lame in your feet. In fact, you may see perfectly normal, healthy people around you all the time, but they may have a broken heart. They may have a disturbed soul. People are wounded and hurt in life. There's no way to avoid that. But you and I can show some kindness to people, even though they may not have a visible handicap. Nevertheless, there are internal handicaps that need a little kindness. Perhaps if we sow some kindness, we'll reap some kindness in return. Even if we didn't, it would be a good thing to practice kindness. These coming weeks and days, would you practice some kindness with me? I know that I'm not always kind. Undoubtedly, you're not either. If you're having a bad day, you might be grumpy and hard to get along with. You could use a little kindness. Let's develop a habit of demonstrating kindness to people around us. I want to leave you with the scripture that we have on our ministry card. It's from Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 3, and it says, "Do not let kindness and truth leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart." Keep kindness as a trait that you want to develop in your life day by day. Go and sow some seeds of kindness, as I'm going to do over the next weeks.